live video just because I've had so much stuff I've had to do this week, and I have more stuff in front of me, and focusing on all of them is not how I want to spend what little of the rest of my life I have left. I'm not doing that 24/7, but they're on top of my social media. I know that investigators have all of my shit. They have all of the stuff. But for those of you out there who like what I have to say and want to listen to it again, I suggest you get it while you can, because God only knows how long it's going to last. They are on top of me constantly. The reason why they were kind of weirded out the other yesterday, day before yesterday, when they let my dog out. The reason why they were so weirded out is because I showed up at my house with someone. They didn't expect me to have anybody with me. And so the person who was with me saw what was going on, because to say that I was irritated was an understatement. And they saw more than the people probably wanted them to see. And that's how it's working. Is that all of their stuff is starting to backfire on them. The social media that they're trying to take down, that they're constantly coming at me with, and all of the weird shit that they're doing. Andy Villa, I'm gonna do a TikTok video where I'm gonna show the screenshot, but the very last thing in his email that he said to me was, "I'm gonna disappear soon." And so of course I forwarded that to my police. And it's harder to take down stuff when I have screenshots to show proof of what I'm saying. And that's what they don't like, is because I've just been using their own shit. I just take screenshots of the shit that they do, all of the games that they play, and all the stuff that they play with me, and then I just talk about it. And they are trying to close me down as fast and as hard as they possibly can. And it's an army of them. Obviously, they brag that there's an army of them against me. And so she's disappeared. She's disappeared. Glenna the Bad Witch. The whole thing about it is that when I call him out, it kind of freaks him out, because I'm not a nice person. And when I figure out you're a bad guy, I'm not nice to you. I'm not nice to you. And but that's how they got my phone number. I mean, my police have, because when they leave me voice messages, I can send that to people. I don't even have to fucking record it. I can just send it, and I do. I send it to the cops and all my investigators. That's why they've and again, they all brag that there's an army of them. You want any, go to Mother Superior. That's what I'm starting to call Tara Joyce Randolph, Mother Superior. Oh, and nope. I'll take a screenshot of that, and then I'll block you. Well, that was fun. See, you're not the real one either. Someone came in as Andy Villa, Dr. Andy Villa, but they all work as a group. And I think that this Andy Villa account is an account that several people have access to. That's what I have come to find out. That's what I've come to realize with the Andy Villa account. It is because the tone changes. There's been so many weird ass names, and they're all threats. They're all threats, just like you just saw. The dude talking about my dogs. Told me he was going to murder my dogs. Then sent me an email saying I'm going to disappear soon. And this is the person that my sheriff sent out an email to all of us saying they're fine. They're fine. They're not, I don't think they're doing anything wrong. and they're telling me I'm going to disappear. Joanne Fabrics is closing. Then where are we going to buy material? You know? Thank you for letting me know Joanne's is closing. So there's going to be a huge clearance thing. Big. I'm poor right now. Poor, poor, poor. I mean, it's the middle of the month. Of course I'm poor. And so I am still working on quilts. That's exactly. I'm finishing up projects that I have because I don't have to buy materials for that. But that's where I'm focused on. Is I want to focus on the artwork and making bags and because nobody bitches at me about the artwork. I'm not having to fight with anybody when I'm doing artwork. All I ever get is, wow, this is amazing. And so wait beside the dumpster, you might get lucky. Well, I will tell you that when you're poor, I have more than once gone to Goodwill and bought women's formal dresses because you can buy a formal dress, even if it's $15 at Goodwill, you spend $15, but that dress probably has at least 4, sometimes 6 yards of fabric to it. And so that's how I get a lot of my fabric because I can't afford to, you know. Fabric is expensive now. It's you know, and I don't know if I'll be able to set up a business. I would love to, but you gotta have money to set up a business. I have a lot of the stuff. It's just that fabric is difficult to come by and thread, and it's all just little shit. But it's okay because this week I was actually able to help someone, and it was really nice. A friend of mine made gorgeous pillows from mini skirts that, yeah. Some of the clothes, I mean, I love to buy women's clothes because you guys have way more amazing choices of fabric than guys do. You know, I don't want to wear women's clothes, but I like to do artwork and stuff with them. And I think that bags with inspirational sayings, trying to push faith and hope and God and heaven, I think that's where I'm going to start heading because I think that that stuff will sell. Especially if I do a little bit of beading with it, you know, it'll be something interesting and different. And it won't require yards and yards and yards and yards of fabric. So it reduces the cost. And because I figure my social media, they are on top of me. There's an army of them. There is an army of them. And the reason why I say this is because I just got a thing from YouTube. The account that I had, I lost access to this account for about 4 years. When I was coming back from Seattle, I lost access to this account. I'm assuming that Doug Mesner, aka Lucian Greaves, founder of the Satanic Temple, got a hold of my Google account because it was the exact same time he got into my blog. And I think they took down the I don't know why I lost access. All of a sudden I just didn't have access. And so I set up another YouTube account, but the YouTube account that they just took down was the time right after Isaac Cappy during the whole gas station explosion in Earling, Iowa. All of that, those were all videos that were on that there. Because the minute I got access back to this account, I just came back to this account. But that gas station, they want all of that information to go away. That's what they want. And there's an army of them. There's an army of them. This one is harder to take down because I'm showing screenshots of their stuff. So they're not able to say that it's a conspiracy theory when I can show proof. And that's, but when I had that account, I didn't have any of that, you know? But it won't make any difference because the way I've gone about it is none of this has ever been about me. They have tried to take me out so many times. And when I was in Seattle and all of this stuff that they were doing, hitting me with their toys, got really bad, I was convinced I was going to drop over dead any minute. So I had not, I don't really give much credence to the future because the future is not guaranteed in any way. And when you're living like I do, it's definitely not guaranteed. You know, anything could happen and I wouldn't be here anymore, at any time. There's no way to control it. And they need to be investigated and shut down. Yeah. They they get people out of their accounts for a while. They rewrote Confessions of an Antichrist. If you go to my blog, davidshurter.com, and you go up above and it says the extended version of Rabbit Hole, Confessions of an Antichrist, and you click on that post, you will see that there are two links because someone got onto my blog and rewrote Confessions of an Antichrist. And the only reason I found out about it is because I was doing something and I was talking to my publisher and I had done it so I had the word count for the one. And so I told her, yeah, I told her about the word count and she told me that's not right. Your Confessions of an Antichrist had way more. And so I ended up going and she sent me what I sent her and someone rewrote it. So I left links for both. You can read what I wrote, but then you can also read their version that they rewrote. You know, that's the reason they're on top of me. And it's just me. And there's an army of them. And they're coordinated and they know what they're doing. Look at what they've done to me. Look at what they've done. Not what I've said. Look at their actions. You can tell a fruit you can tell a tree by its fruit. You can tell that was kind of a Freudian slip. I need to go just 2 seconds. I need to go grab different glasses. Sorry, I was having a hard time reading the comments. No, those are not my dogs barking. That is a notification sound that I have on my phone because most of them I don't notice. But if I have barking dogs on my phone when I get a notification, they're only, for certain things. It's dogs barking because I can hear that. And I always, thank you. It is nice to see you as well. It's Friday. I kind of do these on Friday, it seems like. Thank you. There have been a lot of people who have watched my stuff for years. And then once they found me, then they went back and watched all of the stuff. And that's what investigators have done too. But I'm saying, if there's stuff you want, you better get it. I can't guarantee that my social media is even gonna stay up. That's the issue. They're on top of me so hard. When I wrote Confessions of an Antichrist, I didn't write it to publish it. It was that I was at a crisis point in my life, and I wanted to see my life in black and white so that I could ascertain if I was crazy or not. So I wanted to write it all down and see if I was crazy. Because all my life I've had people tell me, oh, you're crazy. Oh, you're crazy. Oh, you're crazy. They tell me I'm crazy, and then they tell me I'm really smart too. So how can you, I always tell people, I can't be smart and logical for all of this, but the one aspect of my life that you don't want to deal with, I'm crazy. Crazy is all crazy. People who are crazy aren't just crazy on one thing. If you're crazy, if you're crazy, then you're crazy all the time with everything. That's how it works, isn't it? You know? And I would tell people, no, you know, but I wrote Confessions of an Antichrist so I could see my life. And what I realized when I wrote Confessions of an Antichrist was that not only did what I knew, not only was it not crazy, not only was it possible, but with everything that was going on, it was probable. That's what I realized. The only reason why I went and took and got it published is because I let a few of my friends read it. And they all told me that I had to get it published. And so that's when I went to go get it published. But you don't make a lot of money publishing a book. And I self-published the book. And I published it in 2000. It got published in 2012. It cost $14,000 to publish the damn thing. And I haven't even come close to that in sales. So they'll call me a grifter, but I'm obviously a bad grifter because I lose money doing the shit that I do. And but I don't care because it was about the information. They can say whatever they want, but I know that I have helped a lot of survivors. I know that I have helped a lot of survivors. And that's cool. You know, that's cool. They can say whatever they want. I don't see where any of them have helped anybody. You know, anybody. And they're all very self-impressed. And they all play games. And they're the most vile group of people I've ever met in my entire life. Normal people are not like this group. These people are vile. They're vile. Everything about them, the way they act, the way that what they say, how they respond, everything about them is vile. And of course, they're not, you know, they don't see it. But who cares? You know, who cares? And I am so tired of having to deal with this bullshit. I just have to let God take care of it. Because obviously, the other day, 2 days ago, when I came home and they had been in my house again and let my dog outside again, they didn't realize I would have someone with me who actually witnessed the whole situation. And boy, they sure were out checking out their vehicle though, right when we were inside. And which I was able to show my friend. There you go. See, this is what I go through, because thank God it wasn't a hot, sweltering day. But I figured they thought I was going to Omaha. I'd be gone all day, you know? And I wasn't. I was in town. I've been helping people. And they didn't expect it because I don't have a lot of people to my house. Because I have to worry that they'll target people in my life. That's what I have to worry about, is that they will target people in my life. And no, I can't put people at risk like that. Look at what just happened to fucking Owen. And whether or not Geo Farnsworth and Daniel Dowd were in town, which they sent me live videos, they made it quite clear they were in town. But even if they weren't in town, what they did, they still tried to take credit for Owen. You know? That's weird. And so, and then they act like they're victims because I wanted to investigate it, because I want to find out if they were in town. More than that, I want to know if my sheriff knew if they were in town. Because he was getting the emails, and they sent me all those live videos. They were trying to scare me. And it didn't scare me, it just pissed me the fuck off. But I just sent it to the sheriff, because what the fuck what else can I do? You know? And again, it's a fucking army of them. It's an army of them. And it's been super bad since I started talking about Isaac and the whole Dead Isaac Cappy Club descended upon me, you know? Because Phoenix Enigma, Corey Daniel, and Geo Farnsworth, and Corey's wife, and all, they descended upon me all at once as a group. And that's how it started. Then Thomas comes along, and, you know, and I thought it was bad before because I had to deal with Doug Mesner and the Smart Conference, and Denise Mathau. You know, all of these people, they're all working in conjunction with each other. They're not opposition. They present it as opposition, but it's because it's controlled opposition. And what they're doing is distracting from this reality TV bullshit. If you watch their shit, it gets exhausting because it's just chaos. But it's chaos with a purpose. Because if you get so involved with that, then you just don't focus on the other shit. But really, when it comes down to it, God is dealing with this whole situation. All of their shit is going to come out. This group was dumb enough to hitch their wagon with Neil Gross. Neil Gross already had issues, but that whole gas station explosion in Erling, Iowa, you know, because you can say whatever you want to say, but one explosion that demolishes the place is different than two explosions that happened 9.5 minutes apart. And the place wasn't demolished until the second explosion, which happened 9.5 minutes after the first explosion. So the official documentation of how this explosion works is great. It sounds wonderful if there had only been one explosion that demolished the place. But there wasn't just one explosion that demolished the place. And those facts, you can't just overlook those unless you want to be, unless you're choosing to be ignorant. And so why the discrepancy? And who could cause a discrepancy like that? Who would have enough power to make that become the case? And they can't argue that. And so you are one of the first people that have woken me up to the evil in this world. Thank you for being a voice for the voiceless and calling out the evildoers. God bless David. Thank you. I feel like it is my obligation because of where I grew up and what my family was involved with. My family owes a debt to this, so I am just trying to pay back the damage that my family has caused in the past. I wasn't involved with it, but it's my family. And the sins of the father fall upon the shoulders of the son. That's how it works. And so I just took... They play a lot of games, and they're really good at deception. But my gift, I think, is that I'm able to help you guys see it and actually know what you're looking at. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. There's no way to go back. Once you see it, you can see it plainly. And that's what I've been trying to do, is get people to actually see what's going on and who's behind this and calling it out. Everyone wants to go after the big people, you know, I'm going to go after Michael Aquino. I'm going to fight Michael Aquino. I have found that it's more effective to start with the worker bees. You know, you get all the worker bees and you call out all the worker bees, and then you get investigators looking at the worker bees. It'll lead them right on up to who is on top, you know. You have many gifts, thank you. I do. You know, God has blessed me. I'm poor, but yet, I mean, everyone in America, we all live better. Even the poorest of us still live better than 80% of the world. You know, that's sad, but we're not living on dirt floors. You know, we're not having to go to the well to get our water. We're not running from bombs yet. You know, we have it so much better than the rest of the world. We don't even know it. You know, because America wants more, and it. The worst thing to do is be judged and be found wanting. You know, that's the worst. That Jesus Christ said the worst thing is to be judged and be found wanting for anything. Because if you're wanting, chances are you don't appreciate what you have. I think that's the reason why God blesses me, because I thank God all the time. This last few days, being able to help a friend. Do you understand what a blessing that was? Because I really just needed to get out of my head and away from these people. And I was actually able to help someone who really needed the help. And service to others, we're called to that because and not asking for anything, just doing it because you can do it. You know, there's a gift to being in service to people. And that's all I've ever wanted. I enjoy helping out people, volunteering, you know, and I am so sick and tired of dealing with this group, you know. They're ignorant, they're vile, they're totally negative. Everything about them is negative. That's the reason why I can't believe that Tara Joyce, I would assume she only appeals to hateful people because she is not, I don't find her funny, you know? Of course, I've had to deal with the real Tara Joyce, not the one she wants to be on stage with. And this is how I look at the situation. This is how I view it. When I started this whole situation, Corey Daniel was mad at me because my just looking at it critically, his whole story of he knew the exact minute he went under an overpass, even though he didn't, there was nothing there signaling that anything had gone on that was wrong. He didn't know Isaac Cappy, didn't know anything, but he knew to the minute that he was driving under an overpass. And that in and of itself was stupid. When's the last time it's just driven under any old underpass, but know to the minute when you did it? I couldn't even now, you know? And I thought it was ridiculous. So then that caused a huge fight, because then I started looking more critically at the story. Because when Isaac died, I walked. I didn't keep up with any of it. Because all I saw was a friend of mine who got taken out with this whole situation, and a bunch of people who were fucking watching HBO. You know, it was all entertainment. It was all talk. Everyone was talking about it, but no one truly appreciated, as far as I was concerned, the man himself, which I'm starting to realize now that now that I've been exposed to the people he called friends. I don't think Isaac and I would have been friends. I know we wouldn't have been friends had I known. However, my original, what I'm trying to get to is that Phoenix Enigma said that it caused all of this issue. Now the story has changed, and not only was he not driving under the overpass, but now he and Daniel Dowd have said that they were on the bridge and want to be hailed as heroes trying to prevent him from jumping off. That's what's come to me. Now, I have to say, I don't go seek their shit out. I don't go, you know. when I want to know something, if I need to know something, I just need to send it out there and heaven brings it to me and I get the answer. That's how it works with me. I am not wasting hours a day watching their shit. I never watch their shit because they irritate me and they're stupid and I don't find them entertaining and I find them, to be quite frank, boring. I think it's boring to watch them. I can't believe that they have done these 6, 7, 8 hour podcasts because they're boring, you know? But that's beside the point. The story changed. Now with like Tara Joyce, it took me forever to get her to admit that she's friends with these barely legal people, but she is friends with these barely legal people. If you infer what she said to me about her bragging about her casino, you know, whatever she did this last weekend, she told me I was stalking her when I said that they were sitting in the audience. So were they sitting in the audience? That's kind of what I came away with it thinking that she was admitting that they were, you know. She admits Sewer Town, she and Geo. The whole story keeps switching and changing and switching and changing. But the fact remains, this group was dancing around telling everybody how I was a grifter and how I was defrauding Social Security and I didn't deserve disability. At the very same time, disability tells me that now I have to go in and show proof of who I am because there had been a myriad of attempts at identity theft on my account, you know? And so that's what, it's another group and they were secret, but the group that's actually dancing around, they didn't have anything to do with it. You know? It's as frustrating as Daniel Dowd and Geo Farnsworth. They wanted to take credit for being in my town, and now I'm calling them out, and now suddenly I'm the liar? But you went out of your way to let me know. You were dancing around, but now that you don't want that, now I'm a liar for even bringing it up. And the whole gas station explosion thing, people are looking into this. They already know where to look. Investigators already know where to look. I'm not working with any investigators, and yet I know they're working on shit because I know what's going on. In my town, with the sheriff's department, there is shit happening. Trust me, there is shit happening. And they know it, and I know it, you know? And a lot of people in town know it, despite the shit that they have tried to do. And I'm okay with it. But when it comes down to it, in the end, I don't think it's going to make any difference. Who gives a shit what person knows about it? What are they going to do? What are they going to do? What can they do? You know? And are they going to all get investigated and then arrested and then they go to court and then they get convicted and then they go to jail and then they stay in jail and they pay for their crimes? What fucking world do you live in? Because it doesn't work that way. It's never worked that way. It's never going to work that way. It doesn't work that way. Oh yeah, it's supposed to, and it sounds great. But reality is, what God is doing is so much better. Because God is using the sun. We just got hit with the biggest X-flare ever on record. I think we've gotten hit twice with two, and they're bigger than the other. From an area of the sun that just that area has a reverse polarity, a magnetic field just in that area on the sun. Scientists don't know why. You know? Why the fuck do you think those astronauts are stuck in motherfucking space? Because the radiation that's coming from the sun, from all of the solar flares and the coronal mass injections, everything that's coming on is inundating everything with so much radiation, and they're not built for that kind of radiation. And so it's all breaking the fuck down, because that's how science works. And you can say whatever you want. God is using the sun, because this time it's with fire. So God is using the sun. And we're going to reach a point. We're already in judgment, and it'll be over with. Death is coming because I don't know why people would even think that it wasn't coming. There's so many things against us. I went to your blog and I feel bad. I hadn't been in a while, which is fine. It's there though. Reading the emails in full is unbelievably sickening. Yeah, you know, you've never said anything that was insensitive. I don't take things to heart, first of all. I don't. And most of the time, I encourage people to say whatever the fuck they want. That's why people like me. Because they can tease me, because I'm good. It doesn't bother me. I just warn people. If you mean it maliciously, and I know that you're using it to hurt me with, you better brace yourself, because I'm going to play back. But most of the time, we're all super sensitive because everyone has their feelings on their sleeves. And we're at a time where things are so volatile, you need to scrape those feelings off your sleeves and swallow them so that they're not so easily triggered. And I try not to be easily triggered. But thank you for saying that you went and read those emails, because when you read those emails, that's why I'm just putting the screenshots up now. So everyone can just go there and read this shit, you know? And that's the kind of shit I've had to deal with throughout this whole thing, throughout this whole thing. And it's difficult to deal with. And I don't know what else to say, I don't know what else to say. But if I lose my social media and they get my accounts taken down, which they're trying hard to do. They got TikTok taken down, but then I appealed it and TikTok gave it back to me. But who cares? TikTok's getting ready to go away here soon too. So my life is not fucking social media. It's not. And it's hard for me to sew and be on social media at the same time. And I'd much rather create stuff that I like looking at than dealing with those fuckheads. Because they're just nasty, vile people. Every fucking one of them. Every one of them. And they're not in opposition to each other. They're not. I knew that Denise Mathau was playing on the whole side of where Doug Mesner was playing, because I believe it's all government shit. I knew her the days of the SMART conference when I was talking at the SMART conference, because I went to the SMART conference in Connecticut that Neil Brick does and talked 3 years in a row. But after the third year, I started to realize, well, people actually liked me. And then they started coming and tell what always happens. They started telling me everything that was going on. And then I started finding out everything that was going on. The investigator who was investigating Doug Mesner and Neil Brick and the whole thing that they were using. Doug was supposedly, the Satanic Temple was sending people into the SMART conference, and they were recruiting victims of sexual abuse into a sex ring. That's just, and there was an investigator, I don't remember his name offhand, but he was investigating, and he accidentally fell down a flight of stairs and broke his neck. And that's what happened to him. And that's the shit that started coming. If you go to my blog, I've talked about it before. You know, you can go find shit about it because it's not like I haven't talked about it before. I just don't remember the details because there is so much to this shit, and it's been so many years. It's hard to keep up with every freaking detail. So I'm sorry that I don't remember this investigator's name. I wish I did, but I know that he exists. You know, and Denise Matthau is part of that. Angela Power Disney is part of it. And I don't believe that Tara Joyce Randolph is in opposition to Angela Power Disney and Denise Matthau, both of who I know are bad people, because I think Tara Joyce is a bad person. So I think they're all working in conjunction with each other. And they all will pretend that they're in opposition to each other, but they're not in opposition to each other. They're actually working in a coordinated group. And once you see that and you start watching their shit, you'll see it. You know? That their fucking reality television bullshit is impossible to escape. And you just have to wonder why. What is fueling that? Because let me point out, in reality television, those people are getting paid. In one way or the other, they're getting paid. So obviously, the same is true for this group. And it's just chaos. Go look at their shit, you know? Watch them. Watch what they talk about, how they are, how they respond, you know? You will know a tree by the fruit it bears. And Tara Joyce is so busy bragging about her 15 minutes of fame and I got an A on my school paper. Well, what the fuck do you want from me? A goddamn gold star? Are you looking for a gold star? Is that what you're looking for? You know? And yet, all the people who have gotten involved with this, who have been decimated in one way or the other, their lives or they've lost their lives, that's all this group does. That's the fruit it bears. And when you see that, you will realize this group needs to be investigated, and more than that, they need to be stopped. That's how it needs to work. They hitched their ride onto Neil, but that gas station explosion is hard to bypass. You know, I couldn't get anyone to look at the protection order because nobody gives a fuck about the protection order that came down on me. But notice how many protection orders this group takes out too. They threaten the shit constantly. How many fucking protection orders do you think have they taken out on people? Because I bet the number is pretty high. And that's all of the videos that were listed on that protection order that they got out on me had nothing to do with the petitioners, but only and solely dealt with Doug Mesner, aka Lucian Greaves. And now I know Thomas Schoenberger is connected to Doug Mesner because if you go read the emails that I just posted, I think yesterday, he's trying to run me down fucking rabbit holes that don't even exist. Like, I don't know who Doug Mesner, aka Lucian Greaves, founder of the Satanic Temple, is and what he's involved with. I've only been fucking dealing with him for over a fucking decade. But you're right, Thomas. I need your ass to come and explain the shit that you seem to just be investigating online with. You know? It's ridiculously stupid. And this group all feels they're superior to me. They all feel. Tara Joyce is, in her mind, that's why I call her Mother Superior. Because she is superior! I've had 15 minutes of fame! I am so famous! And, okay, ew. You know, can I switch the channel then? I'd really like to, and I am. That's the whole thing. That's the whole reason why with this whole social media and all of that shit, I don't give a fuck anymore. Let it all go down. They won't be able to touch my blog. So for those of you who are interested, if I lose the thing with video, I'll just start writing again. Keep going to davidshurter.com. I'll keep posting this shit. You know? It's not like I haven't done it for fucking since 2011. And God is dealing with all of this. That's the whole thing. That's the reason why I don't feel like I have to be enmeshed with all of this. I don't feel like I have to be on top of this all the time because it's being dealt with in a way better way. Because God's gonna fucking take them out and the darkness is gonna claim them. They can dance around like fucking dumbasses all they fucking want, but they can't stop what's about ready to happen. The minute after they take their last breath, they get claimed by the fucking dark. And they get to spend an entire eternity doing to themselves in their own fucking nightmares what they were, and their group was so eager to inflict on everybody else. You know? And that's how it's going to work. And they can dance around all they want. The earth cannot continuously exist with all of this being inundated with so much heat and radiation. Same thing is true for me. They're cooking me from the inside out. Their toys are horrible. You know those toys in 2006 that the Air Force went in front of Congress and said they had, and said they were going to use them on American citizens to show the rest of the world they were safe? I have screenshots. I have the NBC News article screenshots. I have the official government document paperwork, you know, and their shit is awful. And obviously, since they said that in 2000, they did that in 2006, and it's now 2024, the shit ain't safe. You know? The shit ain't safe. What the fuck do you think causes the Havana syndrome? People don't get sarcasm when I say that they think that Voldemort and his crew are waving their magic wands. But that's because I think this group thinks that it's Voldemort waving his magic wand. You know? And I've said it over and over and over the last few days. Dealing with this group is like dealing with people from an insane asylum. It is. They're just crazy. They're crazy. You can't pin them down on anything. Everything continuously changes. You focus on one thing, they move the goal, the field goal or the goalpost. Then you focus on that, then they move the goalpost. It's a game I'm not playing because it's a game it's not designed to win. It's meant to exhaust a person. And I have fucking taken them out. I have. They're done. They can do whatever the fuck they want. They can break into my house. They can take everything. They can do whatever the fuck they want. They can take my social media down. They can shut me up. They can fucking put me in jail like they keep threatening to do, or put me in an insane asylum, which Doug Mesner always is trying to say that I'm going to go to, or what they're going to fucking make me disappear, which Andy Villa just said to me, that account just said to me the day or two ago. They can do whatever. Knock yourselves the fuck out. But none of it is going to stop the motherfucking sun. It isn't going to stop the fact that the fucking planet is going crazy because the sun is cooking us and we have no magnetic field to stop it. Death is coming. That's just the way it's going to work. It's the logical conclusion to all of this. And unless you can figure out a way to live forever, and great, the transhumanism, putting yourself into a fucking computer. Great, go ahead. It's not going to work without fucking electricity, and the sun is inundating and frying out the electronics. We are at the end of days. We are at the end of days. We are in judgment now, and everything is crumbling down. The UK is on fucking fire. France. the United States is on the verge. We would be more so if most of us weren't so fat and lazy and more interested in sitting our ass on the couch and eating food and watching television than we are doing something outside. You know, that's just, and I'm putting myself right in there with that, you know? So we're at the end. We are at the end. The sun, we are getting hit with X flares, the likes of which we've never seen before. And it's frying everything. The satellites are dropping orbits because they can't handle, because it's heating everything up. Nothing is designed for this. We are at the end. And if you serve the dark, the minute you take your last breath, of course the dark is going to fucking claim you. You know? And that's whether, and you can serve the dark and not know you're serving the dark and still be held accountable. That's why it's so important for us to know ourselves. Because you can serve the dark and not realize it or not admit it or not be aware of it, and yet you're still doing it and it still counts. That's what people need to realize. It still counts. And I'm just not worried about all of this shit anymore. All of their secrets are coming out. And more than that, what I know about this group is they're so fucking scared that all of their secrets are coming out that they're all paranoid. You know? They're all paranoid. Not one of them is sitting comfortably or sleeping well at night. They have, and especially with me, those of who have dealt with me, they are very focused. I live rent-free in their heads. But I moved in there on purpose. So it wasn't unintentional, and it certainly was not accidental. I did this intentionally. And it's funny. I say that I live in their heads, and then they'll post like video after video after video telling me I'm crazy and how they're not living in my head, or how they're not living in my head. You know, it's funny. And I've always had them in mind, because this group, they're fucking child killers. You know? And heaven wasn't kidding when they said it's better to tie a millstone around your throat and drown yourself in the ocean than do what the fuck they're doing. And they thought there was gonna be no consequences. And they're wrong. They're wrong. And the consequences are severe. Beyond severe. Beyond severe. They ain't gonna like what's coming for them. And they can dance around and they can do whatever the fuck they want to me. It's not dependent upon me. You know? It's not dependent upon me. And the war is over. The war is over. There is no war. You know? It's done. And now things are just playing out. They're gonna be claimed. They don't have any fucking power to stop what's happening to them. And they'll focus on me, or Tara Joyce will watch this video and then start fucking talking about Thomas Schoenberger like I'm fucking with Thomas Schoenberger, you know, when really the truth is they're together, because it's a group. They're one big group, all of them. And I am upsetting them. They are very upset. And that's why they're trying to take me down. Videos. They are focused on me, and in the end, they will realize what a distraction I was, because I was just the bait. You know, that's basically, I say on the other side, I have been told that I was the Pied Piper, but I'm not playing a flute. So really where I look at it is, I was the bait, you know, and they are binding themselves to the dark through me. And I'm okay with that. That's the reason why I've had to suffer all this shit, because I had to suffer it. because it was part of it, it was always part of it. And they're fucked, and they don't even realize how fucked they are, and it's coming quick. It's coming quick, and there's no way to stop it. There's no way to stop it. Not to mention the shit from Beetlejuice. I never talk about that because nobody ever wants to hear about that. But NASA's own fucking picture from Beetlejuice shows that big ass cloud of shit, and the fourth picture said, view from Earth. That shit is headed directly towards us. I don't know how anybody thinks. Space is pretty vast, and there's nothing that's going to get in the way of the shit. It, in all intents and purposes, it is wormwood. It is wormwood. But we live in a world of make-believe, and that makes people uncomfortable, and their opinion is because it makes them uncomfortable, it can't be real, and so therefore it's not real, because their opinions affect and directly have dominion over facts and reality. That's where we live now. That's how we live in America. And that doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me, I'd rather know the facts of the matter, even if those facts are ugly. Because what true effect can you have unless you truly understand the situation and as it is? So you have to look at all aspects. And if some of those aspects make you uncomfortable, then fucking deal with it, If they're facts, they're facts. But a lot of people have lost the ability to discern. And it's going to be sad because they're serving the evil and blind to it. But it doesn't make them any less accountable. But I've been on here almost an hour. I'm going to get off here because I have stuff I really want to do. I don't want to be on here all day. But for those of you who are inclined with my social media, I suggest you get it while you can, because they're systematically trying to bring everything down. And I've watched them be successful in the past. I've also watched them fail repeatedly in the past. But, who knows? Who knows? Who can say? I'm not omniscient. I can't see into the future. I can only deal with what is right now. And their shit is intense. And I will say, last thing, if I fucking disappear, I didn't disappear on my own. I'm not going anywhere. I am certainly not going to do anything that hurts myself or anyone else. Vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. And let me tell you, I could not even begin to compare to what's already here, but is coming on fast, So I don't need to do shit to any of them. I see them, they dance around in front of me, and I just ignore them. Oh, I'll lay eyes on them, but I won't say a word to them. There's nothing to say, Because the sad part about it is most of them are so fucking stupid. They didn't sell their souls. They're so goddamn dumb. They gave their fucking souls away for free, basically. And it's not going to serve them in the end. But with that said, I want to stop under an hour. So I have 30 seconds. God, please let this message get out. For those who want my social media, compel them to get it while they can. Protect me, but I follow where you want to lead me. And I say these things in your son's name, Jesus Christ, amen. They hate those prayers. That's why I love prayer anyway. So, all right, bye guys.